Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to the Temple for Shabbat evening services. So pleased you would join us this evening for Shabbat. Our service will be led from the Reformed prayer book, Mishkan Tefillah for Shabbat. You can follow along with the page numbers as we announce them, if you have a copy of the book. If not, there's a flipbook version, a digital version, in the description of our YouTube channel. Please join along in the service, or sit back and enjoy the prayers, the music, and the peace of Shabbat with us. Our opening song is Hine Ma Tov, page 10. Please join us.
Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet amim gam yachad. 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 Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
How good it is and how pleasant when a community can gather as one. I'm now honored to invite Karen and Jay Waldman to lead us in candles and kiddush from their home to ours.
Baruch Shema, Baruch Shema, Baruch Shema. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lihadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagadol. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, creator of the fruits of the body.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, Karen and Jay. We continue with a special prayer for these times of trial. God of wisdom, bless medical scientists and researchers around the world with insight and skill, dedication and fortitude as they combat coronavirus, so that their work yields knowledge and understanding, developing successful vaccines, treatments, and deterrents to its spread. Source of life, grant public health and government officials the strength to act swiftly and decisively, with compassion and understanding, in service of all humankind, fighting this outbreak and the other diseases that still plague our planet. Diseases threatening the lives of our brothers and sisters, nations and communities, young and old. Be with those who serve and support us in these trying times, so that we have food to eat and shelter from harm and power in our homes. Rock of Ages, bring an end to the disease and suffering soon and in our day, so that all may feel your compassion and your love. El na refana la. Heal us, O God, and we shall be healed. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, healer of all flesh, worker of wonders. We continue in our prayer book on page 9. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for ourselves or the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We continue now with the singing of Lecha Dodi as we welcome the Shabbat bride, page 20. Turn now to our call to worship the Baruch Hu on page 28.
Baruch Adonai, Amivorach, Le'olam, Le'olam Vaed. Praised be the one to whom our praise is due. Praised be the one to whom our praise is due. Praised be the one to whom our praise is due. Now and forever.
This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, our brothers, our sisters, or shall we cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. We continue now on page 34 with the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
We continue with the Ve'ahavta on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha. Ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha. Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shiftecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, u'shochbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. Leman tizkaru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. We continue on page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom, aleinu va'al kol amo Yisrael, va'al Yerushalayim. We continue now with Yismachu, page 44. Yismachu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismachu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Shabbat Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat.
V'hashvir ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat. Hindot yomim oto karata Shabbat.
Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Zecher למעשה וראשית שבת, זכר למעשה וראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We rise for the Tefillah, page 46.
Ananana svatai tifta Anananananana Ufi Agid Tehilatecha Anananananana Adonai Ananananana Sfatai Tiftam Ananananana Ufi Agid Tehilatecha
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem l'ma'an Shemo ba'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, God of our fathers and our mothers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, and God of Leah, the great, mighty, and awesome God, transcendent God, who bestows loving kindness, creates everything out of love, remembers the love of our fathers and our mothers, and brings redemption to their children's children for the sake of the divine name. Sovereign, deliverer, helper, and shield. Blessed are you, Adonai, Sarah's helper, and Abraham's shield. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You cause wind to shift and rain to fall. You sustain life through love, giving life to all, through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol. Days pass, and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out in holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. We turn now to our prayer for peace, which can be found on page 60. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people, forever. For you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMevorechet Mo Yisrael, B'Shalom.
Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki oto Malach Adon Lichol HaShalom. Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim tasim le'olam, tasim le'olam.
We take now a moment for silent prayer. We continue now on page 253 with the Misha Berach, our prayer for hope and for healing, which we offer on behalf of all those in need of healing of body and of soul, that we might find together a path towards wholeness and holiness and peace, that we might heal together those who are in need in hospitals and in nursing homes, those receiving care at home, that we might support all those who care for them and create together a world of peace. Please join us in these words of Misha Berach.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach imotenu mikor habracha otenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
When we chant the blessing after the reading of the Torah, we thank God for giving us a Torah of truth. Shanatan lanu Torat emet. This week's Torah portion, Miketz, is a lesson on just that value of truth within the Torah. Here in Genesis, on chapter 41, we enter what is called the Middle Gate, the second of three Torah portions, which are dedicated to the telling of the story of Joseph. Here in Miketz, Joseph's youthful dreams of glory are all but lost. We are at the low point of this amazing tale, which has seen the favorite son of a powerful patriarch, dressed in his coat of many colors, cast into a pit by his jealous brothers, sold into slavery to a passing caravan, accused of a crime he did not commit, and now languishing in an Egyptian prison with little hope of reprieve. But now, Pharaoh dreams two dreams of great import. 7 fat cows come out of the Nile to graze, only to be consumed by 7 gaunt cows that follow after them. 7 full and fat ears of grain come forth, only to be consumed by 7 thin and weak ears, which swallow them up as well. Pharaoh calls for all his wise men and magicians to tell him what these dreams might mean, but none can interpret the dreams of Pharaoh. Pharaoh's cupbearer, his butler, remembers a young Hebrew named Joseph, whom he met when he was with Pharaoh's baker and had lost favor with the king and was cast into prison. Joseph had interpreted the cupbearer's dream of promise of his future for freedom, which had come true. Perhaps he could interpret Pharaoh's dreams as well. Joseph is brought before Pharaoh, and the entire story of his life hangs now in the balance. Pharaoh recounts his dreams, 7 cows and 7 ears of grain, word for word, just as he had for his wise men and his advisors. And Joseph declares, Pharaoh's dreams are one. God has told Pharaoh what God will do. 7 years of great abundance are about to descend upon Egypt, and after them 7 years of famine so severe that they will leave nothing of the plenty which has preceded them. The prison dreamer had unlocked a mystery which even the wisest of Pharaoh's court could not discern. It sounds so miraculous a tale, we almost forget how obvious these dreams can be. 7 cows, 7 ears, 7 years. Fat cows and fat grain, thin cows and thin grain. You don't need to be Sigmund Freud or Carl Jung to interpret these dreams. A famine is coming to Egypt. So why couldn't Pharaoh's advisors figure this out for themselves? Well, perhaps they did know the meaning of the dreams all along. But who wants to be the one to tell a Pharaoh who throws butlers and bakers in prison for a bad meal that a catastrophic 7-year famine is about to destroy all of Egypt? The miracle of this moment is not in Joseph's understanding of Pharaoh's dreams, but rather in his willingness to speak that interpretation despite the consequences of his words. Joseph speaks truth to power, not in the sense of a challenge to the power of the king, like the prophet Nathan does to King David, recounting his sins, but in the sense that Joseph speaks the inconvenient, the unvarnished, the painful truth which any king who cares about his kingdom would want to know. Joseph is brave enough, or foolish enough, or has little enough left to lose, but he speaks the truth, and he adds one more truth as well. He tells Pharaoh that we need not stand idly in the face of famine. God has revealed to Pharaoh only the challenges soon to come. It is up to us to choose how we will respond. Joseph speaks truth to power, and Pharaoh elevates Joseph, this prison dreamer, to the rank of second only to Pharaoh for his actions, because Pharaoh values truth. It seems almost absurd to need to speak out on the value of truth and facts as an important lesson from the Torah and an important value for our society as a whole. But in an age where science and truth are regularly set aside for the sake of popular belief, and alternative facts even on issues of health and safety of our nation as a whole, let us learn this lesson from the Torah. Let us learn this lesson from Joseph. Speak truth and hear it. When speaking about Holocaust denial, the great Jewish historian Deborah Lipstadt well said, "Not all opinions are equal, and some things happen just like we say they did. Slavery happened, the Black Death happened, the earth is round, the ice caps are melting, and Elvis is not alive." Speaking truth, recognizing truth, even truths we would prefer not to be true, is the only path towards constructively dealing with the challenges we face and the building together of a better tomorrow. May the lessons of the Torah be real within our lives, and may the light of Torah and justice shine upon our nation and upon us all. Amen.
Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, חן וחסד, חן וחסד ורחמים. חן וחסד, חן וחסד ורחמים, ורחמים. שים שלום, טובה וברכה. שים שלום, טובה וברכה. עלינו ועל כל ישראל, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, עמך שים שלום, טובה וברכה. שים שלום, טובה וברכה.
We turn now to the Aleinu, the adoration, which can be found on page 283. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We continue now on page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness and of freedom and peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד. It has been said Adonai will be sovereign over all the earth. On that day Adonai will be one, and God's name will be one, and God's name will be one.
Page 291. There are stars up above. So far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with the people that we've loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. For the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways that we remember. Our thoughts turn to those who've departed from this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and our neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This week in our congregation, we remember particularly the names of Lonnie Nafuzzi, Marion Morgulin, John A. Danello, Kurt Ackerman, Simon Steinberg, Richard Weinberg, Evelyn Brill Weinberg, Abe Gotti, Ruth W. Fine, Harvey Schwartz, Joyce Friedman, Joe Bronner, Andor Middleman, Bertha Rifkin, Sylvia Epstein Bordy, Brant Bloomberg, Glenn Graves, Julian Present, Latrice Carl, Nat Balin, Maud Fliegelman, Jock Morris, Pearl Berg, Beulah Ortner Gladstein, Lily Epstein, Rabbi Leonard Devine, Carolyn Feltenstein, Judith Frankel, Norton Greenberg, Miriam Swito, Adolf Schellenberg, Emily Keisler, Sylvia Lowen, Flora Sobel, Pauline Schwartz, Herbert Vine, Louis Levy, Joan Lynch, Lillian Lynch, Joe H. Greenstein, Bert Lynch, Shirley Gordon Lynch, Marjorie Lynch Gordon, Doris Bowers, Lottie Samuel, Alice M. Strike, and in recent days, Louis Sonny Bass and Alma Jean Brooks. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for blessing as we say together these words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, b'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agala uvizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulmei olmaya, yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudisha b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, amen.
Amen.
Our closing song is Oseh Shalom. Please join in.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu,
Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, our parents' parents' parents from long ago. May the light of Torah and the light of truth burn brightly in our hearts and illuminate our world for all to see. May your blessing go forth to all in need. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Lord bless you and keep you from harm. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yikuneka. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted unto you and grant you always the blessing of peace.
Amen. Amen.
Shabbat shalom.